let me then switch to some sound bites. I'd just love to hear your opinion of what happened yesterday on CNN. And we're bringing it up because nobody watched it. First, let me play a comment from Beto last night.
Do you think religious institutions like colleges, churches, charities, should they lose their tax-exempt status if they oppose same-sex marriage?
Yes.
Thoughts on that, Bill?
Fascism, don't you love it? We love the fascist movement. Beto, I understand, is negotiating with Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey. Wasn't there a guy named Beto that ran around?
I don't think so, but I don't know.
No, I think there was, Beck.
Okay.
He had the big floppy shoes. I believe his name was Beto. But anyway, this is the usual fascism. If you don't agree with us, you're a human rights violator, and you should be banished and wear a bell so everywhere you go it rings and people know you're coming.
Here's a 9-year-old trans kid asking Elizabeth Warren something. Listen.
Sia and his mom, Mimi, who's an advocate for transgender youth and active with the Human Rights Campaign. Jacob is an elementary school student from Massachusetts, likes to play hockey. Jacob.
All right, Jacob.
Oh, she's so awkward.
My name is Jacob, and I'm a 9-year-old transgender American. My question is...
All right, Jacob.
A 9-year-old transgender.
What will you do in your first week as president to make sure that kids like me feel safer in schools? And what do you think schools need to do better to make sure that I don't have to worry about anything but my homework?
Comment, Bill?
You know, I mean, it's a kid. I can't ever criticize a kid. It's a rehearsed situation.
You can criticize mom, can't you? A 9-year-old transgender?
I don't like to do that. I'm not in their shoes. I don't know what the kid's been through. I don't know any of that. I really don't like to do it.
Okay. Do you believe it's healthy for a 9-year-old to identify as transgender? I mean, once you're an adult and you are settled down.
I understand that for me, I would raise my children in the gender in which they were born until they were maybe 16 or 17. And if it was a major issue, then we bring in, a psychiatrist, very trained counselors. But I know that these kids who are different get brutalized in school.
So what? I agree.
I saw that.
Yeah,
and so I'm,
Bill,
I'm very sympathetic to it.
Kids will brutalize kids for being different. They don't have to be transgender. This is something that happens with kids.
They can have bad complexion.
Right.
Sure.
So what is the role of the president? What will you do to keep me safe? What policy should the president issue?
Look, if I'm president, I have the public school system in a much different place than it is now. All right. I mean, that would take an hour, but it's basically if you're receiving federal funding, there are things you have to do. School uniforms would be number one, anti-bullying number two. The president really cannot control personal behavior. That's a local issue.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Okay.
You're welcome.
Let me go to Warren supporting taxes now for transgender surgery. Here she is.
In the 2012 campaign for Senate, you criticized a judge's ruling that granted transition-related surgery to a transgender inmate. You said, I don't think it's a good use of taxpayer dollars.
Right.
Do you regret that?
Yep. No, it was a bad answer. And I think it was a bad answer. And I believe that everyone is entitled to medical care and medical care that they need. And that includes people who are transgender, who it is the time for them to have gender-affirming surgery. I just think that's important.
Okay. So I don't think you noticed nobody clapped on that because she didn't talk about a pivot point at all. She just said it was a bad answer. Well, what made you change your mind? It was just a few years ago.
It was a bad answer because it's now not politically correct. Look, Elizabeth Warren doesn't have any core values. She doesn't believe in anything. Come on. I mean, this is ridiculous. The woman is just a disaster on every level. So by following her logic, all right, the U.S. taxpayer, already $22 trillion in debt, would have to pay for everybody's nose job, everybody's reconstructive surgery on their face, on their body, if they didn't like something about their body, because their self-image is bad, and this would help it. Now, I'm not diminishing anybody's gender problems or gender desires. I don't do that. I don't think it's right for me to do it. But if you're going to have a policy where a selected few in America get their surgeries paid for, then everybody has to.
All right, let me give you. I've got to, because I want to save you time. So let me just give you a real quick one here. This is Kamala Harris coming to the stage, and Cuomo's in trouble for what he said right after she introduced herself. Listen.
Good to see you, Senator. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
How are you? Anna, thank you guys. And my pronouns are she, her, and hers.
She, her, and hers.
So fake. This whole
Mine
thing
too.
is fake. Mine too. Notice nobody laughs. He makes a joke. Not funny, Bill, to a crowd of people who believe that that's not funny because it could be true for them.
Beck, can I ask you and Stu a question?
Yeah.
Okay. Aren't you confused by all this? I don't know what, who, she, what, where, why. Now you can't even have a conversation because you may put a wrong pronoun in the sentence.
Yeah, it's like they've introduced a new official language to the United States without asking us.
And we have to. It's like if we all decided to go metric, except no one decided. Not even the government decided to go metric.
I mean, I'm walking in, my pronouns are she, he, we, I took Latin. I know what the pronouns are. We have reached a state of madness. Madness in this country. And I hope the voters are just taking a look at who's driving that. I mean, that's all Trump has to run on.
Yeah, it is.
You may not like me, but look at this.
Yeah, if he can control his anger, and I think righteous indignation on this, and not lash out and just be cool and just go, this is a joke. Really?
Well,
go ahead.
I wouldn't
you can
even
have
say
that.
it's a joke. I said this is dangerous.
Well, yeah, but
and if you value your freedom, you can't give these people power.